He's making his second appearance on Earl's Boxing Radio, and he happens to be the promoter of Martin Murray. I'm happy to welcome back Ricky the Hitman Hatton. How's it going today, Ricky?
I'm great. Lovely. It's lovely to speak to you.
Awesome. Well, definitely happy to have you back on the show. And, Ricky, to kick this interview off, I kind of want to start where we left off. Last time I talked to you, you were heading into your fight with Sinchenko, and obviously things didn't quite go your way, even though you looked good early. I'm just curious, you've had a few months to reflect on your performance. What are your thoughts on your comeback?
It was something that I very much needed to do, to be honest, and I'm glad I've done it. I feel I can retire now with, a happy frame of mind. To be honest with you, I spent 3.5 years, when my life was in a real bad place. I really suffered after my defeats from Mayweather and Pacquiao, and then my other personal problems, and then I was sat on my backside thinking for 3.5 years, have I still got it? Can I really do it? Can I make a comeback? And I made me come back, and I found out that I haven't got it anymore. But that wasn't such a bad thing. Yeah, I'd have liked to have come back and won the fight. Yeah, I'd have liked to have come back and won another world title. But the main thing about the whole performance was about redeeming myself. There's a lot of people that felt like I let down with how I behaved in my personal life. And I'd like to think, even though the result didn't come, a lot of people could take the hat off to me and say, fair play, you give it a go. So as I go into retirement now as a promoter and a boxing trainer rather than a fighter, I feel very, very content.
All right. Now, Ricky, you said that you feel after that fight that you don't have it anymore. I have to ask you, what about your performance makes you feel that? I mean, the first 5 rounds, a lot of people felt that you did better than people expected you really to. And you lost to a guy that was a top-rated guy at 147. What makes you feel that you didn't have it anymore?
Well, I in typical Ricky Hatton fashion, I've never been shy of fighting the best, and my team advised me to pick an easier one for me for my first fight back, but that's not in my nature. I wanted to find out if I still had it at world level, and when you see videos and you speak to former champions that say, you can look great in the ring, you can look great in the gym, you can look great in sparring, you can look great in training, but the minute you get in that ring, actually in the ring and do the fighting and the bell goes, I knew from probably 2 rounds, 3 rounds onwards that I just didn't have it no more. I feel very, very flattered that people say for the first 5 rounds I look pretty good, but a fighter knows his capabilities and what he's done and previously and in the past, and my timing just wasn't there. My shots were just falling short, couldn't quite get out of the way that quick enough. My feet were just not where they should be. I sat me still at the end of the second round, and I just thought, come on, Rick, you're just gonna have to suck it up here now and try and get the win. I just knew instantly it wasn't there, but but I give it a go.
Okay. All right. Well, Ricky, a lot of people wonder whether or not you will make another return to ring. I know you say you're retired now. What makes you think that you will not return after, you did all right and people still think you can beat someone like Amal Naji?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I think, looking back, if I'd have took maybe an easier fight, because there was, as much as I'm saying I didn't feel like I had it there was obviously bound to be, a little bit of ring rust after such a long period of time, but I didn't make that, I made the comeback for one thing and one thing only, is to make people proud of me again. With what happened in my personal life, I felt like I let so many people down, and I wanted to come back and, make people proud of me again, because I was depressed, I was suicidal, I was walking around, over the 200-pound mark, I was absolutely a massive size, and I got all that weight down, got fit, picked a real dangerous world-ranked opponent, and it didn't come off, but everyone was, after the fight, everyone was saying, wow, you've got to give Ricky, credit where credit's due, you've got to take your hat off to Ricky there, he didn't pick an easy one, everything he's gone through in his personal life, he's had all them wars, beforehand anyway, God, didn't he do well? We're really proud of him, and that was enough for me. That is all I wanted from the comeback. I got exactly what I wanted.
All right, well, now that you are retired and you can focus more on your promoting and training, I have to ask you, do you believe that you'll be able to continue to live a healthy life now that boxing is completely out of it in terms of fighting?
Absolutely, yeah. I think, the one thing that the comeback has made me do is made me content with myself and with my life. My life really run off the rails. To be honest with you, because I didn't want to retire. I felt like I still had it, but now I've tried it and I know I haven't got it. I can go into my life, content. There's one thing that every boxer never wants to say it's over. But sometimes we need, forgive me for saying, maybe we need a little bit of an ass kicking to make us realise, it isn't there no more. And in getting that now, I feel I'm a better father, I'm a better partner, I'm a better trainer, and I'm going to the gym training my fighters now, and I'm worrying more about their career. And instead of thinking to myself, well, that should be me, I can still give him one more go. I can now. I mean, my career ended on a high, even though it ended in defeat. That's how I really feel. My life now, I'm a father again. I've got 2 children and I've got another one on the way. Life is really, really good now. And while it is that way, I won't be making another comeback and risking it again. I'm happy and I've got what I want from boxing now. And my next aim will be, from a promoting point of view or a training point of view, will be to come over to the United States with another Brit and bring the support all behind it and make the country proud again.
All right, well, Ricky, let's talk a little bit about your promoting Hatton Promotions. Can you tell the fans out there a little bit about some of the fighters that you have in your stable and some of the promotions that are coming up?
Yeah, well, I've got Martin Murray, who's challenging Sergio Martinez for the middleweight title in Argentina in April. Martin Murray is undefeated. He fought Felix Sturm in Germany for the world title, and he got a draw, which a lot of people thought he was hard done to. I mean, if you get a draw in Germany, that pretty much tells the story. But he's fighting the best middleweight in the world, so we're looking forward to doing that. I promote and I actually train European light middleweight champion Sergey Rabchenko, who's also the WBC silver champion, and I think he's ranked 3 by the WBC now, so he is close on the heels for a possible shot at Saul Alvarez. I also have Scott Quigg, who's the WBA interim champion at super bantamweight. There's big talk about him with a big domestic match against Carl Frampton, who's just won the European title. So I have an army full of stables. I've got Gary Buckland, the British champion, Martin Murray's British champion, Scott Quigg's British champion. I've got Dempsey Vassell, who's a Commonwealth champion. I've got a real strong stable now, that probably the names aren't really on everyone's lips, I should say, in the United States, but they have world rankings that hopefully you are soon going to be hearing about them over there.
All right, well, you mentioned Martin Murray. He actually appeared earlier in this show discussing his fight with Sergio Martinez, and I want to get your views on that matchup. I mean, a lot of people aren't giving him any chance at all. Sergio Martinez, when I talked to him, he said, look, Martin Murray's a dangerous opponent because he's got nothing to lose in this matchup. How do you see the fight?
Well, he's an underdog, and rightly so. We know that, but I think Matthew Macklin, when he boxed him, did pretty good against Sergio Martinez, and Darren Barker also, the other middleweight rival from the UK, who did pretty well against him as well. But I think Martin Murray is better than the other two. I think Martin Murray is better than Macklin and Barker. But one thing is Sergio is a wonderful champion, and we are an underdog, but every good champion's reign has to come to an end sooner or later, and it's always some young gun who ends up coming upsetting the apple cart. And I think I'm hoping it's just going to be the right time for Martin Murray. He's confident. He's not scared of Martinez. He's going over there with confidence. He's young and full of beans, as we say in England. And Martinez is 37 years of age. I think he hung on for dear life. In the last round against Julio Cesar Chavez, and I'm very confident that I thought Martin Murray would have beaten Chavez Jr. So it might just be the right fight at the right time, but it will be one of the greatest wins of any Briton, I think, with the fact that he's going to Argentina and will have to do it in front of 40,000 Argentinians against someone who's number 3 pound for pound in the world. It would be a great achievement, but hopefully it's the right fight at the right time.
All right, well, I want to get your views a little bit on the British boxing scene, some of the stars that are currently out there. Amir Khan's recently made some headlines because he says he actually wants to fight Zinchenko to kind of avenge your defeat. What do you think of Amir Khan trying to pursue this?
I think it would be a good fight for Amir, to be honest with you. I mean, if anybody you can see remembers the Zinchenko fight against Floyd Mayweather, Malignaggi doesn't stand in front of you. He moves, he throws hand speed. He's lots of lateral movement. And that's the type of style that beats Zinchenko, which obviously I didn't have. My style was obviously jump down the throat. Really attack him, go for the body and stuff like that. But I think Amir Khan, it depends which Amir Khan turns up if the Zinchenko fight comes off. And, Amir Khan, has good hand speed, he has good movement, wonderful boxing ability, but sometimes he can't help but get involved and have a fight, can't he? But I think if he comes and boxes a fight stylistically similar to what Malignaggi did against Zinchenko, I think it's a comfortable fight for Amir. But if he stands there and likes to trade, like he did with Garcia and like he did with, the other gentleman that knocked him out, then obviously it would be a difficult fight. But styles make fights, and I think if Amir Khan with his hand speed and movement and he stuck to that game plan, I think it's a good fight for Amir.
All right, and the other British fighter I want to quickly ask you about is Carl Froch. He's having a rematch of Mikkel Kessler in May, and this is what people are saying is going to be the biggest fight over in the UK for 2013. What are your views on that happening?
Yeah, it's a very tough fight. He's the only man to beat Carl Froch in the last few years in a very, very close fight, and it was a good fight. It was one of the fights of the year. So we're very excited about it in England. It can't come quick enough, because I think one thing about Carl Froch, he will always be remembered. That he never got his chance to fight our other bit in Joe Kawasaki. But one thing that everyone respects Carl Froch for is he fights all comers. He boxed in the middleweight in the super middleweight tournament. Was it the Super 7? I think it was called. He boxed in that. I mean, the amount of number one contenders and former world champions and current world champions that he's fought is in consecutive fights. You have to take your hat off to him. He's a real throwback, and the fight against Kessler will be a good one. It's a real 50-50 fight. And hopefully the winner then will fight Ward. I think set up a rematch maybe there.
All right. Well, Ricky, I just have a couple more questions before I let you off the line. And another thing I just wanted to get your views on is Manny Pacquiao. He had a shocking defeat at the end of 2012, and you had a devastating knockout loss, obviously, to Pacquiao. What do you think is going to be the hardest thing for Pacquiao to overcome, being knocked out that way?
Well, it's very. It was very upsetting for me to see that fight, because obviously when I got knocked cold by Manny, I know how hard it was for my girlfriend and my family to see me in that manner. And as soon as I saw Manny like that, my heart went out to his family. It's never nice to see, but I do think Manny should retire now. I mean, but everyone has their own reasons, just like I had my reason for making a comeback, and Manny might have his own reason why he wants to continue fighting. As an outsider, I would like to see him retire now. There's nothing more he can do. He's like an 8-weight world champion, which is absolutely phenomenal. But I think if not his second to last fight with Marquez, he didn't look great. There was a question mark about the decision there. And then he fought Timothy Bradley, which he didn't look great in as well, which he lost. But I, in fact, thought he beat Timothy Bradley. But, he didn't look great in that fight. And then he got knocked out by Marquez in his last fight. The writing seems to be on the wall. You've just seen his performances. He's gone from so brutal and destructive, with wins against myself and Cotto and Margarito, to just not looking the same fighter now. And generally, that seems to me, it seems to be the writings on the wall. But, I'm sure a lot of people were saying the same things about me when I made my comeback. We all have our own reasons, and I'm sure Manny's got him, but only as a boxing fan, a Manny Pacquiao fan, I wouldn't like to see him get knocked out like that again. I think his last few performances haven't been great. I can't see where the performances improve from here on in, but, you never know. Manny Pacquiao is a living legend. He could come back and prove me wrong.
All right. Well, Ricky, I want to get your view on Hatton Promotions for 2013, and also Boxing's Health for 2013.
Well, the thing is it's a shame that Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao didn't get the fight on. I mean, to be honest, I always wanted to fight the best, and I won the junior welterweight title against Kostas, who he was number 2 pound for pound and the best in the division. And then, I even though I've never really been a welterweight, I wanted to fight the best pound for pound in Floyd, and I tried it and I failed, and then I wanted to fight Manny Pacquiao. So it's a shame that the Floyd and Manny Pacquiao fight never took place, and it probably won't take place now. If it does take place, I think it's lost a little bit of its sparkle now with Manny obviously losing. But, I'd like 2013 for the best fighters in the division to all fight each other, you know what I mean? That's what we put the gloves on in the first place, was to prove that we're the best. And I think, it's all the champions should fight each other, prove who the best is in the division, And to be honest with you, I've got a stable of fighters at Hatton Promotions now that are just on the brink of world titles, so you won't have heard of them in the United States at the minute, but, a couple of wins, you could see a Hatton Promotion fighter fighting in the United States very, 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 very soon, and that will be my next aim, to bring a fighter fighting for the world title in either Las Vegas or New York or someone like that, and to do the country proud and boxing proud, like I'd like to think I did in my career.
All right. Well, final question for you, Ricky. You've brought crowds in like no one else has ever seen throughout your boxing career. Is there any message you want to pass along to all the fans out there that support you?
No, just, I'm very, very proud of the support that I got when I went to the United States, not just from British fans. It was well documented of the support, how much support I had from British fight fans travelling over to the United States and to Las Vegas. But, I still had an army load of supporters from the United States, and I would like to thank them for the sport. I had some wonderful times in the United States. I'd like to think everyone knew me in the United States as a fighter that laid it all out and wear his heart on the sleeve. And hopefully it won't be long before, as a trainer or a promoter, I'm performing again in your country. And I look forward to that day.
All right. Well, Ricky, you gave a fantastic interview for all my listeners out there. I thank you for your time, and I wish you all the best luck with your promoting and training.
My pleasure. All the very best. Thank you.